Here's the scenario. You want to go kayak camping and you want to get a long way away from everybody else so you can get to some unpressured fish. So you use your trolling motor. But what happens at the end of the day? Your battery's dead. How do you fix it? Well, I've got a potential solution for you. Stay tuned. If you're a hardcore angler, you hate fishing around other people. You want to get out where there's been no pressure, the fish have never seen a lure, and you're all by yourself or maybe with a buddy or a couple friends. So kayak camping may be something you're thinking about doing. Pop your trolling motor on the boat, get a good battery, and then blitz out to the far unknown. Well, the problem is, once you get there and you're all set up to camp for the night, what happens to your battery? You probably blew it out with all the motoring you did to get away from that pressure, and it's close to being totally empty. How do you recharge it? Well, I've got a potential solution that I'm going to test out in this video. So I was out today doing a big recon here in the spring, and according to my Minn Kota tester, this thing is only at about 1/3 of a charge. So I'm going to recharge it, and I'm going to use the EcoFlow River Pro power station that EcoFlow sent me to test out. This thing is actually pretty cool. It'll charge up to 10 devices at once. It's got 3 AC outlets. If you forget to charge it up on the way out to the launch, you can actually plug this into your car and charge the unit as you go. It'll kick out 600 watts, and it has a surge capability, something they call X-Boost, that'll put out 1200 watts. And one of the ideal things is that this only weighs 15.9 pounds. So you can throw it in the front of your kayak, you can have the battery in the back, and it'll help balance you out. So what I'm going to do is the scenario I'm testing, because you obviously want to check this stuff out before you go do it, is I've got my 5 amp trickle charger here. I'm going to hook it up to the EcoFlow, hook it up to the battery, and see how long it takes to get this thing back to full charge. And ideally, it should be in a time frame that's equivalent to overnight. But I'll come back and check on this every couple hours and see how this is, because my trickle charger will show me when this is at 100%. So all I have to do is turn it on. The AC power is on right there. I'll hook up the trickle charger and then we'll get going. You can see my trickle charger is starting to charge. According to it, this thing was only 25% charged, 25% or less, and it's cranking away. Let's look at what the EcoFlow is telling us. The EcoFlow right here is telling us that at the current draw, it's got 11 hours worth of power left in it. So that should be plenty to get this charged up overnight. It's currently pulling 72 watts, which isn't much. And if I needed to, I could plug in some USB devices here and charge those at the same time. Another cool feature is it's got a little light here. So you've even got a little light for your tent or your campsite. Well, let's let this go, see how long it takes. I'll come back and check on it. I'm just going to move it into my shop because this is going to take a little bit of time. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention something. Something important if you're going kayak camping and you want to get as far away from stuff as you possibly can. This is my pulse width modulator. I use it to control the amount of draw on my battery, and that extends its life, which means I can get farther away from that pressure. So here's the set of videos I've got on how to create one of these and hook it up to your motor and your battery. In the meantime, EcoFlow is cranking away. I'm psyched. Well, we're about 2 hours in. You can see it's up to 50% charge. It's working on getting up to 75. And my system still has 8 hours worth of power left, and we're pulling 73 to 74 watts. 4.5 hours in, it looks like we're almost topped off. Just a little more to go. Cranking out at 77 to 78 watts. There you go, totally topped off. Successful test. All right, I now know that the EcoFlow will fully recharge my kayak trolling motor overnight, and I can enjoy a full day of wandering around looking for those fish that are just waiting to be caught, because I'll have a fully capable trolling motor to get me there and then eventually get me back to the launch. Now, I did learn a few things when I was recharging this. It has something called quiet mode. If you have it in quiet mode, it's going to take a very long time to recharge. In my mind, it's kind of equivalent to a trickle. But it does have the technology to fully recharge in under 2 hours as long as you have the quiet mode off. And the best way to control that is to download the EcoFlow app, which also controls other things, to include firmware updates in this, and make sure quiet mode is set to off to get the 2-hour full recharge time. It does also work well on other things around the house beyond kayak trolling motors. With the X-Boost technology, it'll run things really up to 1800 watts, but you need to be careful what you hook up that's going to demand that much power, because the way it does that is it drops the voltage. So you want to make sure that whatever you hook up that's going to consume that much isn't sensitive to the amount of voltage coming in. But I've run my heat gun and other things no problem using this. So it makes a great thing to haul around and do things with. Now, granted, it's mostly made to run out of your car or when you're camping and things like that. So the chances are you're probably not going to have your kitchen coffee pot out there in the back of your kayak waiting to get hooked up to this. So use it appropriately and you're going to have a good time with it. In the next video, I'm going to look at the situation, again, kayak camping, where we've now taken the solar panel that's made to fit this, and it has adapters for other solar panels as well. And so now the situation will be, you're at your campsite, you deploy that solar panel. How is that going to impact the ability of this to recharge that same trolling motor and have charge left over? Maybe it'll recharge 2 trolling motor batteries at the same time with the solar panel hooked up. We're going to check that out. So bottom line, I think it's a nice unit. I'm grateful for EcoFlow for giving me this copy for free to test out, and I'll continue to exercise it to see how we can use it to enjoy kayak fishing more and more. Comments? Throw them down below, and of course the link to this thing is down in the description as well. Take care.